Welcome to Life Inside. 7 Zen stories for a calm, open, and peaceful mind. Read by Life Inside. Number 1. The Man Who Said Yes. A man went to a Buddhist monastery for a silent retreat. After he finished, he felt better, calmer, stronger, but something was missing. The teacher said he could talk to one of the monks before he left. The man thought for a while, then asked, "How do you find peace?" The monk said, "I say yes. To everything that happens, I say yes." When the man returned home, he was enlightened. This one is actually real. The man is Kamal Ravikant. In an interview, he shares his interpretation of the monk's advice. Most of our sufferings come from resistance to what is. Life is. And when we resist what life is, we suffer. When you can say yes to life, surrender to life, and say, "Okay, what should I be now?" That's where power comes from. When the weather is bad, when your crush won't answer, when the obstacle won't budge, don't say no. Don't dig in your heels and push and shove until your veins pop out in frustration. Say yes, accept, breathe. Life is flowing, always. It's us trying to swim upstream. Let the current carry you instead. Number 2. The Girl at the River. A senior monk and a junior monk were traveling together. At one point, they came to a river with a strong current. As the monks were preparing to cross the river, they saw a very young and beautiful woman also attempting to cross. The young woman asked if they could help her cross to the other side. The two monks glanced at one another because they had taken vows not to touch a woman. Then, without a word, the older monk picked up the woman, carried her across the river, placed her gently on the other side, and carried on his journey. The younger monk couldn't believe what had just happened. After rejoining his companion, he was speechless, and an hour passed without a word between them. 2 more hours passed, then 3. Finally, the younger monk could not contain himself any longer and blurted out, "As monks, we are not permitted a woman. How could you then carry that woman on your shoulders?" The older monk looked at him and replied, "Brother, I set her down on the other side of the river. Why are you still carrying her?" Resisting to what life is trying to tell you is exhausting, but resisting to what life has already told you is guaranteed to be in vain. What's done is done. If you feel guilty, it was a mistake, you can fix it. If you feel ashamed, it was a mistake you shouldn't repeat. But regret, that's just dragging a past event into the present. It's a toxic attempt to twist reality, and it always backfires. Number 3. The Crystal Cup. A Zen master was given a beautifully crafted crystal cup. It was a gift from a former student. He was very grateful. Every day he enjoyed drinking out of his glass. He would show it to the visitors and tell them about the kindness of his student. But every morning he held the cup in his hand for a few seconds and reminded himself, "This glass is already broken." One day, a clumsy visitor toppled the glass on its shelf. The cup fell down. When it hit the floor, it was smashed into thousands of tiny pieces. The other visitors gasped in shock, but the Zen master remained calm. Looking at the maze in front of his feet, he said, "Ah, yes, let's begin." He picked up a broom and started sweeping. I found the idea for this in The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. About a year ago, I wrote that half of happiness is being okay with what you don't get. Now, I think I know what the other half is: being okay with losing what you have. The man who remembers to be grateful for his possessions is ahead of most, but the man who knows they won't last is ahead of him still. Be the second. Number 4. The Ball. A monk told Joshua, "I have just entered the monastery. Please teach me." Joshua asked, "Have you eaten your rice porridge?" The monk replied, "I have eaten." Joshua said, "Then you had better wash your ball." At the moment, the monk was enlightened. I can only echo what Leo Babauta said about this story. There is something profound and yet minimalist about this advice. It's, don't get your head caught up in all this thinking about the meaning of life. Instead, just do. Just wash your ball, and in the washing you'll find all you need. We think we do, but most of the time there's no need to think or plan or strategize, because ultimately it won't make a big difference which option we choose. There's always one or multiple next steps to take, so we might as well take any one of them. Often, there's more satisfaction to be drawn from doing. No matter how our path unfolds, mindfulness always lies on the way. Number 5. The Move. Two men visit a Zen master. The first man says, "I am thinking of moving to this town. What is it like?" The Zen master asks, "What was your old town like?" The first man responds, "It was dreadful. Everyone was hateful. I hated it." The Zen master says, "This town is very much the same. I don't think you should move here." The first man leaves and the second man comes in. The second man says, "I am thinking of moving to this town. What's it like?" The Zen master asks, "What was your old town like?" The second man responds, "It was wonderful. Everyone was friendly and I was happy, just interested in a change now." The Zen master says, "This town is very much the same. I think you will like it here. What we seek is what we find. The reason why you do what you do matter as much, if not more, as what you end up doing, because they shape how you seek. So ultimately, you'll also determine what you find." Number 6. The Teacup. A learned man once went to visit a Zen teacher to inquire about Zen. As the Zen teacher talked, the learned man frequently interrupted to express his own opinion about this or that. Finally, the Zen teacher stopped talking and began to serve tea to the learned man. He poured the cup full, then kept pouring until the cup overflowed. "Stop," said the learned man. "The cup is full. No more can be poured in." "Like this cup, you are full of your own opinions," replied the Zen teacher. "If you do not first empty your cup, how can you taste my cup of tea?" Here's an interesting question. What if the two men from before came from the same town? All we have to judge the world with are our own little measuring sticks, our biased, subjective, arbitrary measuring sticks. They rarely get the job done. Empathy, however, always works. Seeing the world through other people's eyes is like throwing out a stick. You can't do it without widening your perspective. It's never easy, and sometimes it ends up being unnecessary, but it should always be the first thing you try. Number 7. The Four Candles. 4 monks decided to meditate silently without speaking for 2 weeks. They lit a candle as a symbol of their practice and began. By nightfall on the first day, the candle flickered and then went out. The first monk said, "Oh no, the candle is out." The second monk said, "We are not supposed to talk." The third monk said, "Why must you two break the silence?" The fourth monk laughed and said, "Haha, I am the only one who didn't speak." They all had different reasons, but each of the 4 monks shared his thoughts without filtering them, none of which improved the situation. Had there been a fifth, wiser monk, he would have remained silent and kept meditating. This way, he would have pointed out their mistakes without a single word, without breaking his own quest for better. Done long enough, talking inevitably leads to embarrassing yourself. Listening leads to learning. The less you speak, the smarter you get. And maybe not quite coincidentally, the smarter you get, the less you speak. Maybe we are not meant to roam the world in a perpetual state of carefree, ignorant bliss. But we are also not mere rats in a maze. Thinking is good. Solving problem is useful. Overthinking problem is not. Like Zen, focus is a lifelong practice. We'll fail many times along the way, but remember, the best distraction is a good story. Who knows? It just might get you back on the track. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe our channel and share it with your friends. Spread the good word, spread the positivity.